Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Wildflower Tea, and today I want to come on here to talk to you guys about the last podcast interview Aaron Carter ever done with Adam22 from No Jumper. For those of you who have not seen it, it will be linked down below. I do highly recommend that you go and check it out for yourself to gather your own opinions, but I've not seen a lot of people discuss this, and I do think it's important to talk about. I think in hindsight of knowing that this was his last podcast interview ever, and to see it be done in the light that it was is extremely sad. But it's also the perfect example of what Aaron Carter dealt with on a daily basis. And I do think it's important to shed just a little bit of light on that. And before we even get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I do just want to say these are my thoughts and opinions. I'm in no way saying that Aaron Carter was a saint or that he didn't make a lot of mistakes in his life. But I also believe that that does not take away from the fact of how people treated him out here in this world and what part that played when it came to his mental health, addiction, and so many other things he was struggling with. At the end of the day, no matter how you felt about Aaron Carter, he was still a human being who deserved to be treated like a human, not a puppet on a string that people could just dance around and make fun of him.
I actually just hit 5 years clean.
Right.
This I don't consider a drug. I consider this a gift from God,
Right. But you could say the same thing, like lean's a gift from God, ain't it?
It sure is.
You're drinking lean too? Is that part of the Cali sober diet?
Of course not. That color?
Oh my God, you're jumping it on your dog. I hope he can't get the promethazine into his skin through this fur.
No, it's just grape juice. I don't like to consider myself a celebrity or a famous or a legend. Legend I'll take, because... Well, 27 years, 75 million records sold, and my whole life dedicated to this.
Right, but okay, the thing is you are famous and you are a celebrity, so those things you actually can't debate. The legend part can be debated, but you gave yourself that part. But
why is that?
You said,
but how?
I'm just saying that.
But how? I'm a good person in my relationship. I give my girl everything she wants. Sometimes I feel like she doesn't appreciate all of it. I'll be honest with you.
Your mental health being so stellar?
No, just what I give to her.
Right. How long have you been drinking lean for?
This isn't lean.
It looks like lean.
No, it's not. I swear.
What else is that color?
What else is purple?
Yeah.
I don't know. They pour me like grape shit.
Grape. Grape soda?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like my favorite.
No, grape soda's great, yeah. I don't drink a lot of it at noon on a Monday, but...
It's healthy for you, too.
I guess it's a Tuesday. Grape soda is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely is.
Right.
I think it's time for just people to just cool off a little bit, you know what I mean?
In terms of your obsessive fan base that hates you and wants to terrorize you?
I don't consider those fans,
They're like anti-fans.
Yeah.
You don't think it's honest criticism?
What?
The stuff that they say about you. Do you feel like in reality it's not in good faith?
No. Just hustling, doing my thing, taking care of my mental health, working on my relationship. We're doing really well. We're engaged. So look at this guy.
I understand that Aaron was in the thick of it and he lied to those closest to him. He made a lot of mistakes throughout his life, and people wanted to see Aaron be held accountable for some of those things. I don't want to take away from that because I agree that there were certain things that happened that Aaron did need to be held accountable for. But at the same time, as a podcaster, if you're interviewing someone, whether you've done it 1,000 times or not, this definitely feels like one of those situations where you wouldn't want to push this out to the public. It's very obvious in this podcast that Aaron Carter is struggling. And in another interview that Adam22 actually done just a couple of days ago with Vlad TV, he says that he was Aaron Carter's friend. From where I stand, a friend would not push this type of a podcast out knowing what it's going to do, knowing what the public's going to do with it. Vlad TV actually makes a comment about the fact that Aaron had reached out to him several times to do a podcast, and because of the state that he was in, Vlad did not feel comfortable doing a podcast with him.
I just don't want to have a part in the dysfunction that's happening right now.
Yeah.
It's like you're going through some serious mental, severe mental issues, and I don't want to give you a platform to display those issues to the world and make it look like I'm somehow taking advantage of your dysfunction or anything else like that.
I'm real glad that he brought this up in this interview with Adam, because that is my main issue and the reason why I wanted to make this video. It appears that he found entertainment and enjoyment out of making fun of Aaron. Plus, again, he knew the views were going to come in if Aaron was on the show, so he definitely did take advantage of that situation. And again, Adam is not the only one. There was a slew of people online who did the same thing, and I feel like that's why Adam done it, because, well, everyone else is doing it and everybody else wants to watch it, so might as well. That's something that always bothered me, even when I did disagree with the things that Aaron Carter was out here doing. It just seemed so extremely inhumane.
And to me, it's like, Aaron is my friend, or was my friend, who has issues with drugs, right? I had this big mob of women basically who followed him, hated him, wanted to destroy his life, would report him to the cops, would trash him on social media, whatever. And in some situations, you could probably say that they were right. I've seen a lot of those same accounts on Twitter kind of pivot to blaming me for platforming him.
There are a lot of these accounts and people who dedicated a lot of time to highlighting all of the negative things Aaron did in his life. Now that he has passed away, a lot of those accounts are deflecting and trying to put the blame onto others like Adam, instead of admitting the part that they played in the whole situation. Whether you watched Aaron a lot or you didn't, even if you caught just one podcast, it was so apparent that the hate and the trolls online really negatively affected him. And no matter who it is, the second that you feed into that negativity or give that negativity attention, they will continue and make it their mission to drag you down. Sadly, Aaron was no exception. In fact, I would say it was 10 times worse with him than what I've seen with other people. So I do have to agree with Adam when it comes to that, but my issue isn't the fact that he platformed Aaron. It's the fact that he did these podcasts knowing that Aaron was unwell, making fun of him, trolling him, whatever you want to call it, and did all of it under the guise of Aaron's so-called friend. I agree that you cannot make someone want to go get help, and you can't force anybody into recovery unless they want it, but you also shouldn't enable that behavior or make fun of that person either. And I'm sure you guys have heard this saying 1,000 times, but none of us truly know what another person is going through unless you yourself have been through a similar situation. And even still, every situation is different, so you can't just go around judging people, acting like if you were in that situation you would have done things so much different and so much better, especially when you're not that person to begin with. We live in the day of social media where everyone has an opinion and everyone's allowed to share their opinion, which I personally don't see an issue with. But I do think that there is a fine line between just giving your opinion on something or someone and going above and beyond that point to something more personal and exploitive that could actually put another person's life or reputation at risk. And I do think that that has played a major factor when it comes to everyone, celebrity, music artists, regular people, and watching their mental health dwindle in the past couple of years. I fully believe that Aaron felt alone and he felt like he didn't really have anyone that genuinely cared. Even though that wasn't necessarily the case, that's how he felt inside. And shit like this definitely didn't help. Going back and rewatching a lot of these podcast interviews that Aaron done, it was very obvious to me that he wanted the public to believe that he was doing good and he was on the right track in life, but then a second later he would say something or do something that would completely contradict that. And I do believe that Aaron was desperately fighting to do better and be better. As much as people wanted to judge him for things that he has said and done, if you really listen to him, you could see that there really was a want for better. Before we go, I do want to play a clip of another podcast Aaron did with Stevo. For those of you who may not know, Stevo does have a podcast now called Wild Ride, and it's a really good one. Of course, that will be linked in the description as well. You can tell that Stevo genuinely cared about Aaron's well-being and that he wanted to motivate him to go in the right direction. And he also makes a comment about the way Adam treated Aaron as well.
I was going on live, Instagram live a lot, and just, doing no Adam 20, no jumper Adam 22 and Vlad TV and doing just different.
Those were legendary interviews.
Yeah, and I got more coming up. I got on the 29th an interview I'm doing with Vlad TV again.
Cool.
And then I'm reaching out to do no jumper again, and then
the Adam 22 guy.
Yeah,
he was a little bit combative.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree that they all are trying to get under my skin for the most part. Besides you.
Yeah.
Besides you. You've been the only one that actually...
I'm not trying to get under anybody's skin or I think it's fascinating. The phenomena of your interviews have been
big.
They've been the Logan Paul one was particularly
impactful,
particularly crazy.
Yeah.
That was hands down the best podcast with Aaron Carter that I've seen thus far, and I really, really do support what Stevo and them are doing over there. I think they go about things in a completely different way than a lot of other podcasters. It's not just about the drama, it's not just about going back and forth with someone, but they really want to get to know their guests, not make fun of them, not laugh at them. You can tell that he felt more comfortable with Stevo and his crew than anyone else. I'm not saying that Adam's a bad person. I don't know him personally, but I do hope that if he's ever in a position like this again in the future with someone that he considers a quote unquote friend, or even just respects to some certain level, maybe he'll reconsider pushing out content like this and listen to his gut, because he says in the Vlad interview that he done that he had a feeling something was definitely up with Aaron. And again, in my personal opinion, that would have been the time that I would have stopped rolling and maybe had a conversation with Aaron behind the scenes. With that being said, I know perspectives are everything, and I would like to give Adam the benefit of the doubt and say that he was just giving Aaron Carter tough love in the moment. I agree that sometimes tough love is warranted, but also if you've never dealt with addiction or mental health illnesses, I think that there needs to be a level of understanding there as well, without enabling and or mocking someone who is literally in the battle for their life. All the podcasts that we talked about today will be in the description below, and I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on all of this. Aaron Carter was so young, and it's a heartbreaking story. My thoughts are definitely going out to his family, especially his sweet little baby boy Prince. I will be praying for them today and in the weeks to come as they lay Aaron to rest and say their final goodbyes. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a big thumbs up and subscribing, tapping the bell if you would like more content like this. It's a free way you can show me some love and support, and I do appreciate every single one of you guys to the moon and stars. Thank you so very much for tuning in, and until my next one, bye y'all.